Look, I had a bad dream Sunday night, really a nightmare. I woke up at like 1:17 a.m. in a cold sweat. Ben Stokes was 135 not out in England, had beaten Australia in the third Test. Kerry O'Keefe, tell me this isn't real.
Christchurch is so proud.
Michael Vaughan has rated this the greatest Test innings. Talk me through it.
Look, it was just a stunning display by one of the best players in the world, technically and mentally.
Yep.
I know it's used a lot. The emotion, it was only at the end. He showed very little throughout. The emotion, of course, was in the rooms.
Yeah.
This was an unwinnable game that England won, and they did it on the back of Ben Stokes. The crowd were there for him throughout, but he only had eyes on the end game. He didn't acknowledge the crowd throughout when he got 100, but at the end, of course, the explosion of emotion.
So the big question, where do you rate that Test innings to both of you?
Yeah, well, I've got it in the top three, fourth innings of a Test to win. Kusal Perera against South Africa with the number 11, they added 70-odd to beat South Africa. And Brian Lara in 1999 in Barbados crash.
Yeah, I've got VVS Lakshman against Australia. That goes in there too. But I tell you what it was without doubt, the best multi-layered innings, multi-geared innings of all time. 3 runs off his first 70 balls, and in the last 2 hours, he hit more sixes than Don Bradman did in his 20-year Test career.
Wow.
I mean, you just don't see a guy, when the Ashes are on the line, scooping Pat Cummins over his head for 6. Those images will last forever, and it will completely regenerate English cricket. I'm telling you, it takes a lot to put English cricket on the front page of papers.
Yeah, 2 runs off 70 or 3 runs off 70?
3 off 70, and then 8 sixes. Yeah. Don Bradman scored 6 sixes.
Finished up swinging like he does outside of a nightclub, didn't he? It was absolutely... You caught up in the emotion of it as well?
Yeah, I was at home. I couldn't believe it. I got home from Sunday ticket, and I normally have a few beers and watch the footy and the golf, and then the cricket was on, and I couldn't believe it. The last hour and a half, we crashed and burned. I mean, we had so many opportunities to win the game. I just wonder how they bounce back from it. Like, it's really got to hurt.
But it was mental and physical disintegration, to quote Steve Waugh. The 2 from 70 balls, he knew he could drain petrol out of the Australian fast bowlers. He knew that his teammates had made mistakes playing front foot cover drives. He said, I'm not playing any of that because there's a little bit of nibble in the pitch. He wouldn't get on the front foot. He decided to just wait till they got tired and then he marmalised them. Yeah. It was strategically as good an innings as you could have sculptured.
That was the single most underestimated part of it, the gas Australia part of it. Everyone said, gee, our bowlers lost it. Yeah, but they'd been out in the field for 100 overs. Hazelwood's hardly played in the last year. Very smart, very smart.
All right, it wasn't just him, though, was it? Jack Leach. And it's been said that Jack Leach had the best seat in the house, if only could keep his glasses from fogging up so I could actually see what was going on.
He fidgets and loses his glasses more than Crash.
He does. But he's come in at number 11, with 70-odd to go, and is hung in.
He'll get an MBE for 1 not out. If he hits a boundary, the Queen will abdicate.
And how good... He said after that, Ben Stokes actually couldn't watch him bat.
Yeah.
He put his head down on his bat up the other end, didn't he? He could not watch him bat.
Jack Leach's rag has now its own Twitter page, which is fantastic. but the thing about this kid, he's tough. He's never lost a Test match. He's never let him down. He's always taken wickets. He's had Crohn's disease, which is a terrible thing, you know, of the stomach. All this has made him tough. And Josh Butler's grown up with him. And when Josh got married, he said, you're in charge of the music in the church. And they were all fretting because with his glass and wiping everything, they thought, we're going to end up with Deep Purple here.
Did you see Tony Specsavers have offered him free glasses for life?
Oh, well, love it.